She's Marcy.
And he's Goose.
And we're
a couple of superfans.
All right, so we are here today talking about the upcoming 2025 Super Slate. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about this, Marcy. I literally cannot contain myself. We have 14 projects releasing this year, 15 if you count Creature Commandos because its finale dropped in January, but it released in 2024. I don't know. Do you count Creature Commandos as a 2025 release?
No, because it released in 2024.
Oh, well, that's pretty straightforward.
I don't know. Yeah, you said release.
So then, we're going to skip Creature Commandos. But first, let's share a little bit about ourselves. We talked just a little bit about it on the podcast trailer that we dropped a little bit ago. We are an actual couple, and we love superhero things. And we came to superhero stuff because we just do. I don't know. I feel like I've just always grown up with it. Like, Spider-Man's great. The X-Men are great. I wish Blade wasn't before my time. I need to go back and watch it. Like, I feel like I'm really missing out, and like, oh man, Are they going to do it? It's like a will they, won't they? They will do it. It's just a matter of when. When are we getting Blade? I don't know. It's been teased for since Endgame, basically. But that's not on the 2025. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through the 2025 Super Slate, and we'll talk about what they are, what to expect, how excited. I'll rate them on a scale of 1 to 7 for how excited I am for them. And Marcy, I believe you've put them in order of your excitement from 1 to 14.
Yep, I did.
So at the end of this, I will go ahead and guess your order. We'll go from bottom to top, and you'll tell me if I'm right or wrong, and then you'll tell us why it was there on your list.
Okay.
So, we're skipping Creature Commandos. Although I do encourage you to go watch it. It is the first foray into James Gunn's new, bright and shiny DC universe, and it's a lot of fun. But since we're skipping that, first thing to release, already released, January 16th, we're talking about Harley Quinn Season 5. Oh man, what a good show. We just watched through Season 4 to catch up to this, and it's a lot of fun. Oh my gosh. Like, the dialogue, like, It's the DC Harleyverse. It's not canon for anything else, other than there are some comic books that support it. But they were made for the show that tied season 3 to season 4. Stars are Kaylee Cuoco, Lake Bell, and Alan Tudyk. There's obviously more than that. I often call it the Poison Ivy show because she's in it, pretty much just as much. We've got 55 episodes for her, 57 episodes for the titular character. The show is just so fun. The Harleyverse is so silly, but consistent. It's got its own internal logic. The iteration of the Joker is actually one of my favorites, which I didn't think I would say going into this show. And this season 5 sees Harley and Ivy being done with Gotham, now that they've really kind of wrecked it. And they're moving on to Metropolis. And it's going to be great. One of my favorite episodes, I think it was in season 2 or season 3. I don't remember. When was the episode where they do the flashback when she's Harleen Quinzel and she's in the room with the Joker in the asylum, and he's like, "So you want to know how I got these emotional scars?"
Yeah, that was great.
That was so funny. So really all you need to watch before Harley Quinn Season 5 is Seasons 1 through 4. Nothing more to it than that. If you want some extra content, there are comic books that support it. It's a subscription service. It's easy to get. Next out, already out, January 17th, I'm talking Nickelodeon's own Dangerverse, Henry Danger, the movie.
Oh my god.
What to watch before? The shows, maybe? It's a Nickelodeon show. Now, it's rated PG, it's live action. It is actually really fun. I knew nothing about this show. I was not going to watch it until we started deciding to do this podcast, and I was like, well, if I'm going to talk about all the superhero films and TV, when I was looking them up in 2025, Henry Danger the movie came out. I was like, Nickelodeon has superheroes? Apparently, they've also got the Thundermans. Henry Danger has like 5 different shows. Some of them animated, some of them live action, and I'm like, so they've got a full-on Dangerverse over there at Nickelodeon, and in the conversation of things being made for kids versus family friendly, I went into this fully expecting it to be made for kids, but I actually found myself unironically laughing out loud because again, you gotta check your expectations. Go into this and just say, okay, let's see what Nickelodeon is doing with the superhero genre. I know it's not for me, but let's just see what they're doing because it's a fun genre and Nickelodeon likes to have fun. And oh my gosh, is it fun! It's a multiversal story where a kid who admired Henry Danger thinks that he died because he faked his own death apparently at the end of the series, and she's like,
Spoilers.
"Yeah, I know." Well, Henry Danger the movie is a spoiler for the series, and listen, I didn't watch the shows, and I still enjoyed it. They explain everything you need to know. So she uses this reality bending device, which she steals in an actually really awesome open scene, and pulls him, and like they go into the multiverse, but it's all based on her fan fiction about Henry Danger. So it's a fake multiverse that this machine has created, and I have to say they had, I think, more fun with the multiverse concept than Multiverse of Madness did. Don't hear me wrong. I love Multiverse of Madness, one of my
Whoa.
favorite movies, but they spent more time in more multiverses with more characters in like more variations of the pivotal characters, and it ended up being a really heartwarming story. And I had a lot more fun with it than I expected. It's an hour and a half. It's on Paramount Plus as we speak. Um, Definitely don't expect Marvel quality stuff, but it's corny, it's cheesy, it's funny, it's honestly everything you need from a superhero movie. If you want to just check out and enjoy a superhero flick for an hour and a half in the comfort of your couch, then you're gonna enjoy it. Let me pull up the IMDb, IMDb, IMDb for Henry Danger. Who is Henry Danger? It's directed by Joe Menendez. That rings a bell, actually. The writers are Dan Schneider, Jake Farrow, Christopher J. Noack. The stars are Jace Norman, Sean Ryan Fox, and Ella Anderson. And yeah, it's a fun show. And that's all we're going to talk about. Henry Danger, the movie. Oh, actually, apparently, when I was looking into this show, fans of the show have been clamoring for a Henry Danger movie since 2017. It just dropped in 2025. So it's actually a big deal to some people. And I just think that's special. Next, we've got your friendly neighborhood Spider Man! Spider Man! Can't go wrong with Spider Man.
No, no, you can't.
So this is a fresh, new universe. It's TVY7, but don't let that deter you. We've watched the first 2 episodes, and oh golly, if you like Spider-Man, you're going to like this show. It's a unique universe. It references certain aspects that we know and love about the MCU proper. However, it's clearly its own distinct, separate universe. So there is jack shit that you need to watch before watching this. All you have to go into this thinking is, okay, this is a fresh new Spider-Man story, new take. Let's do this. It's going to be an interesting twist on all our characters. I think they drop Venom in the opening episode, and oh man, it's an interesting take on that character. I'll just leave it at that. I think each episode is about 30 minutes, and there's already a YouTube video out there that is like 45 minutes. Is it any good? I didn't watch it. I think it's a silly question to be asking when there's 6 more episodes to reveal. And also a 42-minute episode to talk about if 60 minutes of television is good. Just spend the extra 15 minutes for yourself and form your own opinion, okay? Like, if you're tempted to watch that video, just don't. Watch the fucking show yourself. It's good. It's worth it. It's fun. If you've got Disney Plus, if you've got Max, you've got all the superhero stuff you need. And can't forget the IMDb. Let's load it up. We've got your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man IMDb. Hudson Thames, Carrie Walgren, Grace Song are the stars. It's not pulling up the... Why is it not showing me the writers and directors right up at front? Okay, directed by Milquire Zwire, Lisa Singer, That's only 3 episodes credited, so there's going to be more. Um, oh, they're just maybe this is kind of useless. Maybe we'll stop doing the indabas.
Yeah, it's a little clunky.
It's a little clunky. So thanks for
Yeah.
listening this far. We're going to stop covering the IMDb's. You can look it up on your own if you really care too much about who's into it. However, we are going to do that for like the specific watch throughs when we do a fresh watch through of a movie that just dropped or something like that. But for this episode, we've got enough to talk about. So, but I am very interested in getting to know the people behind the project. That's definitely something we want to do. Um, Something to expect from Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is that it's going to introduce some variation of Daredevil, a different version of Stephen Strange, and a different version of Norman Osborn. And it's going to be quite some fun twists. After that, we've got Invincible Season 3. This drops on February 6th, so it is literally 3 days away as of recording this. It might be out already by the time this gets posted. It's February 6th. It might be out. I don't know how long it's going to take me to edit this. Sometimes I procrastinate. We'll see. It's TVMA. It is Invincible's own universe from the. Don't hate me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's the Skybound comics. And my gosh, brutal, violent, made by a creator who loves the superhero genre but just wanted to have more adult themes in it and not hold back on kind of the realities of what superhero powers could actually do in this world. So there's some absolutely harrowing moments in this show. It's very character driven, very emotional, and very brutal. It's hard. It's a hardcore show. So in that respect, it might not be for anybody, everybody, but it is animation, and it's some of the best action I've seen in animation. And for me, at least, like when you compare it to The Boys, the fact that it's animation makes the messiness of it all more bearable. Not that I avoid The Boys, but I can't binge The Boys.
Yeah, that can be hard to watch sometimes.
One episode at a time, please.
Yeah.
So, what to watch before this? Just season 1 and 2. You're gonna love them. A bunch of new characters are expected to come forth in season 3, so that'll be fun. And then we've got. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be going through talking about how excited I am for all these. So far, I have been a 6 out of 7 for all of these. Actually, Henry Danger, I was a 0 out of 7 after seeing it. Set yourself at a 3. Like, get at least a little excited about this movie. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, but now we're talking about things that are actually on the horizon. So, Captain America Brave New World, I'm a 7 out of 7. I am raging excited for this. I'm hulking out over it. So, we've got Sam as Cap, we've got Red Hulk, we've got spy thriller elements, we've got a war over adamantium finally being in the MCU. Wakanda may be featured to some capacity. We know he gets his suit from it. What to watch before this? You're going to want to watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, perhaps some previous Captain America movies. Knowing the ending of Eternals will benefit you, and honestly, giving that movie a chance will benefit you too. It's a good movie. Don't believe the haters. It's like, yeah, maybe a little more artsy than we usually want from a Marvel movie, but that's kind of what makes it special.
Oh, what about the 2008 Hulk? Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, The Incredible Hulk would actually be a really good one to watch also, because Thaddeus Ross is introduced there, and you see kind of some of his initial intentions.
Abomination.
Abomination could be roped into this. I mean, I feel like they've revealed a lot in the trailers, and yet there's so much that they're holding under their belt. Like, there's rumors that there will be more than just the Red Hulk in it. But again, leave your expectations at the door. Allow yourself to be enthused. I'm not saying don't have standards. We have standards of the projects that we like. We want good superhero stuff. All I'm saying is, don't go in expecting 7 Hulks and then say it's a shitty movie because there was just the Red Hulk. That's just, you're setting yourself up for failure. Come on, go into this ready to enjoy it. Get it in IMAX. Get it with the big sound. Get it with popcorn. A big drink. That's my plan. We're going on release. We've got our IMAX tickets. That's how we're celebrating our Valentine's Day. with a big red Hulk, a big red lovable Hulk that sets things on fire like my heart's on fire for you, Marcy.
You're a dork.
Background production news. There has been a lot of reshoots on Captain America Brave New World. But don't let that deter you. Keep in mind there's a lot of factors going on. We had the strikes. I know the pandemic may have affected the production of this movie, but it was mainly the strikes that really affected it. And they took the opportunity to retool what they were doing. And what bothers me a little bit about this narrative, we're gonna talk about Daredevil next. Daredevil went through a very similar process where they did some screenings and they were like, we don't like the way this is going. Let's retool this. While they were halfway through the project, they ended up scrapping everything, firing the team, bringing in a new team. Very similar things happened to both projects. And Daredevil is being lauded as like, thank God they changed it. While as Captain America is like, oh man, this spells trouble. I'm like, guys, it's the same team generally behind the scenes that are making these corrective decisions. And I think they've learned a lot over the last few years. They had the opportunity to restructure things and rethink things during those strikes. And Anthony Mackie is quoted saying, it wasn't retooled at all. Every Marvel movie I've done has done reshoots, so it's not retooling or remaking. You basically get the movie and the story you want, you edit it together, then go back and shoot a few more scenes. And I think he's underplaying it a little bit. This one did seem to go through bigger changes than you normally hear about. But also, that's just because you normally don't actually hear about what those changes would be. There was just some leaks involved in this one. According to a leaker online, or a scooper, not a leaker, a scooper. They both sound bad. What do you scoop? Oh, I scoop news. Sounds gross. But a leaker is, that's kind of gross too. What are you doing? You're leaking? You might want to get that checked. But the name is My Time to Shine Hello, which is a name, I guess. The Captain America Brave New World reshoots. They say changed the ending, the opening, added a new villain, and another Hulk, and a new post-credit scene, and changed a character's death. So it definitely sounds like a lot of things were retooled, but it sounds like, I mean, I don't think we should undercut what Anthony Mackie is saying here either, because at the end of the day, this is his movie. Like, well, you know what I mean? Like it's Captain America's movie.
Yeah.
The show is about Captain America. So what I take this to mean is they reworked a bunch of the peripheral stuff to make whatever story they're trying to tell centered around Captain America work better and be more for Captain America. So I think that the underlying main through line that drove this movie did not change. I think they changed other elements so that that main through line lands better. So I'm very excited about this, and I'm I'm a 7 out of 7, and I'm a 7 out of 7 for the next one too. That's Daredevil Born Again. Hooey! March 4th, finally back. It's TVMA, finally in the MCU proper. Kevin Feige has, I'm pretty sure, basically told them, go all out. They brought the guy that did the Punisher series to come in and do Daredevil Born Again. Again, similar things, reshoots. He was brought in after they didn't like what the first team was doing. So this is Daredevil, finally in the MCU proper. Some people are treating this like it's going to reveal which parts of the Defenders saga is actually canon. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to fact myself right now, but I'm pretty sure I read a direct quote from an executive or multiple executives, like a statement from Marvel proper that was like, yeah, we're making the Defenders saga canon. And that's when they added it to their timeline order in Disney Plus. So people are a little bit confused because what James Gunn on the DC side of things is doing is he's doing kind of this weird soft reboot where he's saying pay attention to Creature Commandos and pay attention to Peacemaker Season 2 and pay attention to Superman because things they reference from the former DC universe will be canon, but things they don't reference will not be canon, like a misremembered memory. And so that has people applying that same logic to Daredevil Born Again, where they're waiting to see what Daredevil Born Again will reference to make the Defenders saga canon. But the Defenders saga is already canon. So you can go ahead and watch all of it and know that it's all canon within the MCU. That said, I do agree. I want Daredevil Born Again to reference the Defender Saga because it just makes it feel more connected. So
Yeah.
that's my thoughts on that. Um, what do you need to watch before Daredevil Born Again? There's a lot of Defenders Saga. You probably just need the Daredevil seasons and the Peacemaker seasons. Not Peacemaker, sorry, Punisher.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Punisher.
Punisher. Someone's going to shoot me for getting those wrong. Don't get those two mixed up. They're kind of similar characters at the end of the day, though.
I don't know about that.
They're both anti-heroes that are not opposed to killing people with brutal
Yeah.
weaponry and guns, and like they're all about like they really convince themselves they're the justice in the world. They're similar. I think there's some similarities.
Okay, yeah, there's some similarities.
There's some similarities,
but
but obviously Punisher's a bit darker and grittier, and Peacemaker's, I don't want to say lighter, but a little bit, kind of. I mean, it's James Gunn did it.
yeah, a little bit more comedic.
Yeah. So, if you want to watch the entire Defenders saga, it's all pretty good. I mean, it's got its ups and downs, but there's a lot to love there. And again, it is all canon. Next, we have Thunderbolts, releasing May 2nd, 2025. That's MCU proper again, another PG-13 movie. What is this one about? Well, now we're kind of getting to the point where we don't know as much of what this is about, but the rumors are the events of Captain America Brave New World will lead into Thunderbolts. Both of them will be setting up something to do with Avengers for Doomsday and Secret Wars, and both of them will also be moving the story forward towards setting up a World War Hulks type movie. Both of them are going to have to do with government agencies trying to create super soldiers. So lots of machinations moving around within the Marvel Universe to bring these characters together. And the theory I like the most is that we're going to have Steve Rogers brought in Doomsday, leading some team of the Avengers that we know and love. We're going to have Captain America with Sam Wilson brought in with the version of the Avengers that he assembles, or at least starts to assemble, in Captain America Brave New World. And then we'll have, forgive me, what are all the characters in the Thunderbolts? Here, maybe we will pull up the IMDb on this one, because it's pulling from a lot of different Marvel projects to bring a bunch of different characters together from previous Marvel projects that were like kind of villains or anti-heroes. So you're going to have the Yelena and Bucky are the two that I was thinking of. You've got Florence Pugh. Pugh? Is it Pugh or Pugh?
It's Pew.
Pugh?
Yeah.
We have Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan kind of leading the team here. It sounds like it's going to mostly be centered around Yelena, but Bucky is in the mix. I wouldn't be surprised if Bucky also shows up in Brave New World. We're going to have Wyatt Russell's John Walker. We're going to have Melania is going to be in it again with the Red Guardian. We've got Alexei Shutakov. I mean, we're talking lots of different movies. So where do all of these characters come from? And I thought I dished out notes from all of that, but let's just look at the poster here. So you've got discount Captain America from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You've got Bucky Barnes from basically the entire history of the MCU. You've got a new character called Bob. We don't know nothing about him, but supposedly he's a character called Sentry that is like super powerful. We've got Yelena, who is introduced in Black Widow. That would be a good one to watch to get to know these characters a little better, because that one also introduced Taskmaster, who many think will die in this movie, but maybe not. Maybe she just is somewhere else towards the end of the movie when we see those scenes of the other characters together in the trailer. We've got Ghost, who was introduced in Ant-Man and the Wasp, not Quantumania, the second one. And then we've got Red Guardian, again, introduced in Black Widow. So there's a lot to potentially go watch before seeing this. However, I get the vibes that like they're going to do it in such a way that if you wanted to just step into this movie without watching anything, you'd probably be okay and enjoy it, kind of like with Suicide Squad. Like, They just give a little reference to each of the backstories of these characters. But I think it'll be a bit more serious, a bit more like rugged and real feeling than either of the Suicide Squad movies did. And it's not meant to be as like they don't have bombs in their head and they're not like assembled. I guess I don't know. I guess I don't know too much about the Thunderbolts, but it's got those asterisks. Maybe the asterisk means they are the Suicide Squad. Like at the end of the movie, lots of people are thinking they're going to be the new Avengers, and I'm like, what if they're just like Suicide Squad? No, they're not going to do that. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I am 7 out of 7 excited for this one too. Um, it's bringing a lot of popular characters together. I think it's going to give some characters a little more time to shine that deserve a little more time to shine. Like I really want to see Ghost's character development from where we left them, and yeah, it's going to be good. Let's pull up this rumor mill about an MCU cameo. Oh, okay. So the original Thunderbolts in the comic books were members of the Masters of Evil under Baron Zemo. So Baron Zemo might show up in really either or both of these movies. He's closely connected to the Winter Soldier and Captain America. So
Yeah.
there's a theory that those Masters of Evil will be referenced in this Thunderbolts, even though it's not those direct same characters. So we'll see about that. Maybe Thunderbolts Asterix means Masters of Evil. Maybe all these characters are going real dark in this movie, and they're not the anti-heroes we think they are, but they're like the next saga's villain. No, that's a terrible theory. And then we've got Ironheart on June 24th. That's going to release on Disney Plus. It is Marvel proper. I anticipate this one being PG-13, though I don't think I found a rating for it, or I would have noted it here. It's going to be garage made tech by our titular character Ironheart, Riri Williams, versus dark magic with the character The Hood. This show is going to introduce Mephisto, aka the MCU's version of the devil or Beelzebub or whatever. So she returns to her hometown of Chicago after building her first Ironheart suit using Wakandan technology. But it sounds like she doesn't get to keep that technology. The Wakandans are like, hey, thanks for your help. We gave you some education and some time here. She, in the trailer, refers to it as an internship in Wakanda. So, I mean, that's interesting. And having access to Wakandan tech to learn from probably benefited her. Wakanda Forever introduces this character, so that would be a good one to watch to lead up to Ironheart. The background on this one, because this one was delayed and delayed and delayed, even though it's kind of been in the can. I think they've just been waiting for the right time to release it because they've had a crazy schedule, and now they're just kind of like, we need to get this shit out the door. I don't think we should judge anything by that. I think it's just they didn't find the right slot for it because, okay, little bit of backstory. Bob Iger is the current CEO of Disney. Before him, it was Bob Chapek. Before Bob Chapek, it was Bob Iger. Bob Iger retired without a replacement plan, and they kind of rushed, the board did, to get Bob Chapek involved. And Bob Chapek was like, I'm going to be the king of Disney Plus. And he turned to Kevin Feige and he said, crank shit out for Disney Plus. And Kevin Feige was probably like, listen, we need to maintain some quality. And obviously the Disney CEO won the conversation against the Marvel CEO because Marvel reports to Disney at the end of the day. And so they started cranking all sorts of shit out. That's why some of this stuff just didn't feel right. Looking at you, Secret Invasion. And so I really think Ironheart's going to be good. They just didn't find the right time to release it. And I want to see more from Riri Williams. We saw some of her in What If that released at the end of last year. And she's actually a really interesting character. I didn't know anything about her before Wakanda Forever. And I am excited to see more of her. I'm excited to see the dark magic realm of the MCU beyond witchcraft. This is like straight up devil magic. That's different than witchcraft. So this is gonna be a lot of fun. Very interesting. I love tech versus magic. I think it's just gonna be great, and it's gonna be more street level, which a lot of people like. Like Daredevil Born Again is going to be more street level. So that takes us to July. Oh my gosh, guys. Set your calendar for July. Be ready to buy 3 box office tickets for you and your friends. Well, tell your friends to buy their own, but bring a date or don't. That's fine. Actually, there's a lot of fun going to movies on your own. I haven't done it for a while, but when I did do it, it was like that was actually a more enjoyable experience than I expected. I just didn't have anybody to go with, and I really wanted to see that movie. And oh, anyway, Superman coming out July 11th. This is DCU proper. This is the first movie in the DCU. There is no required viewing, though watching Creature Commandos might give you a little background insight. It's a fresh, new DCU from James Gunn, written, directed, and my gosh, it looks like a lot of fun. The trailer dropped a little while ago. They dropped a teaser a couple days ago that really didn't do anything, and the trailer just feels right. It feels like, gosh darn, that's Superman. Because listen, I liked Henry Cavill in the suit. I didn't like him as Clark Kent, and I really didn't like the way Zack Snyder, was taking the characters. I liked some of the vibes. I liked a lot of his action sequences, but I'm excited to see what James Gunn is going to do with the DC universe. I'm not trying to shit on the DC EU. I think it had its high moments and had its misses. Um, the main problem, again, was the studio behind the scenes never bought into any one unified vision, while Marvel has had Kevin Feige mostly kind of guiding that ship. So it's exciting to have DCU under a single creative vision to kind of finally give us some stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's gonna be good.
definitely.
And I don't really know like much more to say about this. I mean, it's fucking Superman. Just go watch the trailer for yourself and get amped. I am a 7 out of 7 for this one as well. It's going to be such a big movie. There's so much writing on it. It's like James Gunn is writer, director, producer, studio head. So if this goes wrong, it's a bad day for James Gunn. It's a bad day for all of us, though. We all want a successful Superman movie. So I'm really looking forward to this. Shortly after that, July 25th, we get The Fantastic Four First Steps. Finally, a Fantastic Four movie in the MCU. We've been waiting a long time for this, and more importantly, we've been waiting for the Fantastic Four to be done justice. The original Fantastic Four movies don't hold up. I liked them when I watched them, but I was very young. And also, I liked Henry Danger, the movie, so maybe I don't have the most critical of opinions. I just like superhero stuff. So but the Fantastic Four First Steps looks like they're really going to get the Fantastic Four right. It's not going to be an origin story, although I have a feeling they'll reference their origin. It's going to be them already living in a fully developed separate Marvel universe. Once again, there is no thing for you to watch before this movie. You can go into it as a brand new fan and you can say, all right, Fantastic Four, enthuse me, delight me, surprise me, and I guarantee you, you will be. Maybe I'll eat those words, but I'd be shocked if I eat those words. Kevin Feige has been dreaming about bringing the Fantastic Four to the screens since he got his hands on producing X-Men. And I don't think he's going to let this one fall through the cracks. Like, he has said time and time again without any shadow of a doubt that, look, he loves everything that they're dropping in 2025, but he parses no words in saying the Fantastic Four First Steps is absolutely what I am most excited about. So I'm a raging 7 for the Fantastic Four as well. What's it about? We don't know. The Fantastic Four. What to watch before? Nothing. Oh, some people apparently online are concerned that they won't showcase Reed Richards as a awesome, stretchy fighter and more of just a brainy type, like another Tony Stark. And they're basing that on how the character was disposed of in Multiverse of Madness. And I'm like, guys, that was literally just a tease, just an Easter egg, just a nod to the fans who fan cast John Krasinski. And also, by the way, that was the fucking Scarlet Witch with her full reality bending powers. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And they also are just, I think they reworked the way that um, Miss Marvel's powers work from the comics, because in the comics her powers are like directly similar to Mr. Fantastic, but they wanted to clear room so that Mr. Fantastic could have his time to shine at the same time as Miss Marvel. In the comics, it's not an issue because the Fantastic Four sort of fell out of fashion, and so they weren't really competing for the same fighting style in the comics as much, as I understand it. I'm not a huge comic follower, not yet. But yeah, I think Kevin Feige is very excited to showcase the Fantastic Four, and I would be shocked if we don't see some good stretchy madness out of Mr. Fantastic. Silver Surfer from Julia Garner teases that the Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four First Steps is going to be fantastic. She says, with the Silver Surfer, there's still something very mysterious about it. That mystery is very important to me as an actor. It's such an iconic character, and it felt very different for me. I've never played a character like that. You have to imagine everything when you're doing it, as if you're auditioning, she describes. Even though we had the sets, I didn't have my costume or hair and makeup or anything. So it's full mocap, and I think that means they're going to do some really good things with it. Because I mean, think about how good the Iron Man suits look in the MCU. They really mastered CGI metal. I remember for the first Iron Man, that was a huge part of their expenditure was just making CGI metal look real good. So I think the Silver Surfer is going to look amazing. I'm excited for Julia Garner's take on the character. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Then we've got Eyes of Wakanda in August 6th. So that wraps up July. I said buy 3 tickets in July. That's a little bit of a side note. I know it's not a superhero film, but it's because there's going to be a new Jurassic World movie coming out. I think it's called Rebirth. Might be called something else. Either way, it's going to start off a brand new trilogy, or aim to anyway, centered around Scarlett Johansson. So that's part of why it was on my radar because I mean she's a Marvel star, you know. That's how I know her
she's
anyway.
Black Widow.
She's Black Widow.
Black Widow's gonna be fighting some dinosaurs.
Yeah, Black Widow versus dinosaurs. I'm game for that. So anyway, yeah, 3 movies: Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World. Back to superheroes. Eyes of Wakanda, August 6th. Animated, Marvel. This one, as far as we can tell, it's going to introduce some new characters from Wakandan history. It's going to show them in a kind of globe-trotting adventure. Maybe not, it might be more episodic than that, but it's going to follow these characters in the history of Wakanda, and it's directly connected to the MCU proper. A lot of the Marvel animation is kind of in its own multiverse situation, but Eyes of Wakanda is directly the MCU, and the producer or the director said the Black Panther animated series is set in the MCU. Ryan Coogler says that animation is the ultimate equalizer of locations. Oh, sorry, I misquoted this. The series creator and showrunner Todd Harris is explaining this. Ryan Coogler was the director of Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. So that's why they did animation. It's because they want to go to a lot of different places, and they didn't want to have all of that big budget for that. From what I understand, animation takes a lot of time, though, so it's like a trade-off. But it really does allow people to do a little bit more than what they can do with live action in some respects. So I think we're going to get some really quality storytelling. I think it's set to just be 4 episodes, so it's just like a little glimpse into Wakandan history, and I think it's going to be really fun. Give us a little bit more Wakanda while we wait for the next Black Panther, which will be coming out after Secret Wars. We just don't know exactly when. After that, we've got August 2025. I guess there's no specific release date yet. It's for Peacemaker Season 2. The only thing to watch before Peacemaker Season 2 is Peacemaker Season 1. Although, Peacemaker Season 1, technically not canon. James Gunn says it's entirely consistent with canon, except for the Justice League scene right at the end. This is going to be TVMA, so if you like the more adult-facing superhero stuff, this is for you. Peacemaker will likely establish more DCU proper lore, as he talks about fringe things around the world. He's going to answer some continuity questions from the previous DCEU, introduce some new characters, tell a fun new story. There's no trailer yet. You might want to watch Creature Commandos before watching this. In Creature Commandos, Rick Flag Sr. refers to how Peacemaker killed Rick Flag Jr., his son, of course, in The Suicide Squad. So we know that something like that is canon. But we know it's canon because it was mentioned in Creature Commandos, not because of anything that happened in The Suicide Squad. Are you with me?
Yes.
I know, James Gunn's making this very easy on us. So then we've got Marvel Zombies. This one's going to be crazy. I am a 6 out of 7. Oh, yeah. Wakanda Forever, 6 out of 7. Peacemaker Season 2, 6 out of 7. Marvel Zombies, 6 out of 7. This one's going to be TVMA. Marvel Zombies, which was kind of introduced in What If? What kind of? They had a whole episode for it, and it's gonna be brutal. The Winterbaum, the head of Marvel Television and Animation, said that they're really going all out because the comic books don't pull any punches and they want to capture that. So they made it TVMA, and I don't remember how many episodes it's expecting to be, but again, it's going to be kind of its own thing. Maybe watch the Marvel Zombies episode of What If first, but you probably don't need to watch anything. Then we've got Wonder Man releasing in December. No specific release date yet. There's a lot of speculation on what Wonder Man's going to be about. It stars. Let's pull up the IMDb. So it's created by Destin Daniel Cretton. Oh yeah, he did he did Shang-Chi, and he's doing some other stuff for Marvel now too. So I'm excited to see that. It's, forgive me, Yaha Abdul Mateen II. Sounded right to me. I think that's how you say his name. I have not seen him in anything else, but a lot of people are really excited for this casting. I know he was in Aquaman. I didn't really keep up with those movies.
Yeah, you weren't missing much.
Yeah.
You know what? He's actually Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen on HBO Max as well. Or, sorry, just Max now. Not sure why my mic sounds so much weirder now. I didn't change anything about our setup. I just wanted to add that note while I was editing this.
I'm getting into DC now. I have a lot of faith in James Gunn. I'm hoping it's good. And with this podcast, even if it's bad, I'm going to keep on watching it. I'm just glad we're starting this podcast now that Sony is well in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we don't know much about Wonder Man. We know it's going to be a actor in Hollywood who's trying out for the role of a character named Wonder Man in a TV show that's going to be like self-critical or self-referential to Hollywood. We don't know how meta it's going to get. It might not get meta at all, other than just like little nudges here and there. It's going to be focused on Wonder Man's acquisition of his powers. It's going to be an origin series, and I'm excited for that. I love a good origin series. I like Destin Daniel Cretton. Ben Kingsley is also going to be in it. He was in Shang-Chi, as well as he played the fake Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
And he's great. He's a lot of fun to watch. And those are all 14 projects that are coming out in 2025. I would say I'm a 6 out of 7 excited for Wonder Man as well. Next up on our to-do list is to go through Marcy's order of excitement. So I'm going to guess that we're going to start from the bottom and then work our way to the top. So I'm going to guess that 14 on your list, your least excitement, is Henry Danger the movie.
You'd be wrong.
Oh my.
It's my number one.
Holy.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, let's go downstairs and watch it right now. I'm sorry I watched it without you.
No, I'm good. Yeah, that's definitely my least excited. Or I'm least excited for that.
Boom. So that's 1 point for me. All right, I'm going to keep track. I got a score here. I got to keep track of my score. I got 1. All right. I'm guessing number 13 on your list is Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Although we've already seen the first 2 episodes of that, so maybe it's not fair.
Nope. Nope. I chose Peacemaker season 2.
Really? Peacemaker season 2 is 13th on your list. I
Yeah.
thought you'd be more into that.
I liked the first season of Peacemaker, but this was a hard list to make.
Yeah.
And there's other things I'm much more excited about. But still,
That's fair.
I still am excited to watch it.
Yeah. Cool. All right, I'm thinking number 12 on your list is Eyes of Wakanda.
Yep. Did you look at my list?
No, I just know you. All right, so I got a score of 2 out of 3 so far. Why is Eyes of Wakanda right there on your list?
I didn't really think of that stuff.
You didn't think about why it's there?
Not for all of them. I'm just...
Oh, that's fair. Make a comment on the ones you want to comment on.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing number 11 for you is Wonder Man.
You'd be right.
I was right again. All right. Yeah, I take it we just don't know much about it.
Yeah, but I'm still excited to see what they do with it from what I have heard.
Good. Then we've got number 10 on your list. I'm guessing it is Ironheart.
Are you sure you didn't look at my list?
I am 100% sure. I made this list before you made your list.
Yeah. Yep. I put Ironheart as my number 10.
All right. And then I'm guessing that number 9 on your list is Marvel Zombies.
No.
Ooh, what do you have as number 9?
That is where I put Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Nice.
Number 9, which I really liked the first 2 episodes so far.
Yeah, they were just so enjoyable.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun, different take on characters that we already know.
Yeah, it's already been renewed for season 2 and season 3, so we're gonna get to enjoy it for quite some time. So that was what was that guess? Number 9 on your list. So
Yeah.
number 8 on your list, I know is wrong because I guessed it was Peacemaker season 2. So what is it actually?
Marvel Zombies.
Marvel's. Oh, I was so close. I had that as your number 9.
I love zombies,
Yeah.
and I really liked the What If episode. So I'm excited to see what they do with a whole series about it.
Yeah. I don't know how many episodes it's gonna be, so I don't know if the phrase "whole series"
Well, yeah, I mean, I
quite
don't.
applies. A lot of their series feel like partial series, but they've restructured things. They've got showrunners now, so some of that's going to be behind us. But I think Marvel Zombies is in the can because it's animation. It takes a lot longer to steer the ship on animation.
Yeah.
So, but I hope they give us a lot of episodes because I know you love zombies. So then it's number 7 on your list. I'm guessing Harley Quinn season 5.
No.
Ooh.
Invincible season 3.
Ooh, okay. I was close on that one. I have that as your number 6. So, what is your number 6?
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four is that far down on your list?
I know.
Oh
I
my
know.
god.
There's just.
Wow. Okay.
This was
So
a tough list.
this is where I'm gonna start missing more. So we've got. I guess I knew your least favorites more than I know your favorites. Number 5 on your list. I'm guessing Superman.
Captain America.
Captain
Actually.
America.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that is number 4. So what is number 4?
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Damn. I
Yeah,
guess that is number 2. So okay, so let's so Superman is your. Sorry, I guessed Superman is your number 5. What was your number 5 again?
Captain America.
Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah, Brave New World.
Okay, and then number 4 was Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
What is number 3?
Superman.
Superman. Okay, and then number 2.
Harley Quinn. Season 5.
Nice, a little higher on your list. Probably after watching the first 4 seasons.
Yes, I wish I would have watched them sooner.
Yeah.
Such a fun show.
And
then,
what's your number 1?
What do you think it is? Well, I mean, there's only one left,
It's
but
the Daredevil.
it's Daredevil.
Oh my gosh, Daredevil Born Again.
Yep.
And I'm
Very
still catching
excited
up.
for
I
that
fell
one.
away from it after Defenders, so we are watching through that right now, and it's a joy.
Yeah, so good. And The Punisher, I love The Punisher, so I'm excited that they are bringing him back too.
Yeah, and the guy that directed The Punisher.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. Well, I didn't do too hot. I got 4 out of 14 correct. Mostly in the bottom. I guess I know your least favorites more. It's a hard list, though.
Yeah, and
So
this was hard.
Run
to
through it
put
for us
together.
again from top to bottom.
All right, so we have Daredevil Born Again is my number 1. Harley Quinn season 5. Superman, Thunderbolts, Captain America, Brave New World, Fantastic Four, First Steps, Invincible season 3, Marvel Zombies, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Ironheart, Wonder Man, Eyes of Wakanda, Peacemaker season 2, and Henry Danger the movie.
Very nice. Cool. Well, I'm going to get a copy of that list. And I guess I don't need a copy of that list. We're going to watch all of these things either way. Well, I guess you're not going to watch Henry Danger the movie.
I caught some of it when you were watching it. I guess, it was better than I was expecting, but still not my thing.
There were some genuinely funny moments. If you just allow yourself to just enjoy, okay, it's a kid's movie. There were some funny moments. Like, I thought it would squarely be a kid's movie, but it did seem to consider the adults in the room a little bit. So it was a little more towards the family-friendly side of things. But now let's talk about what do you think will be the biggest movie of the year? I'm kind of torn.
Oh.
There's 4. We've got 4 movies. We're not talking about the series anymore. Just these 4 movies: Fantastic Four, Superman, Captain America, or Thunderbolts.
That is a tough one, but I'm thinking either Fantastic Four or Superman. Ugh. I'm gonna go with Superman.
I think Superman will be bigger than Fantastic Four.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go with that.
Now, how are we quantifying bigger? I guess we should have talked about that. Just box
Um,
office poll?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's why people do that. I'm a little critical of judging a movie by its box office poll, partly because studios these days have full control of their own aftermarket. So it's not like they stop making money on the movie when it's not in the theaters anymore because they don't have to go through any loops. They can just it's on their own aftermarket. Now it's their own product on their own Disney Plus. So they keep making money from that. Like for example, The Marvels was basically skipped in the theaters by most people, but then it was one of the biggest movies on streaming when it dropped on streaming, and people loved it once they saw it. So I encourage everybody, go out there, see it in theaters. It's worth the experience. If you saw The Marvels at home and liked it, I guarantee you would have enjoyed it more in the theaters. And that's going to be true for all of these movies. I believe all of them will be filmed for IMAX. I know Captain America is. I'm damn sure Superman is. You need the sound. You need the lights. I mean, we can all be mad at Martin Scorsese for shitting on the actors in these films, but I think he was onto something when he said these films are like a theme park. They're bright, flashy, fun films. And while I disagree, I think there is a lot of human emotion and character-driven moments and stories, and it can be genuinely heart-wrenching. It does capture certain aspects of the human experience that can't really be captured in non superhero storytelling because elevating someone to a super person kind of it's like what does this person do with this power, there's always that element of like, oh, this is a real hero. Superman could do literally anything. He could conquer the world if he felt like it, like Omni-Man wants to do in
Yeah.
Invincible, or Homelander. Like he could be a seriously bad dude, but he's a fucking awesome guy. That's part of why I didn't like Zack Snyder's take on the characters because he was a borderline villain unless Lois Lane said otherwise. It's like no, Superman's just a good dude, and yeah, Lois Lane is his rock in a lot of ways, but I mean, come on, he's a good dude. That's why she likes him, not because she makes him a good dude. Anyway, I digress. So I think all four of these movies are going to be big, and um, I just, people need to stop preemptively shitting on things. Just form your own opinion. If you're hating on something you haven't seen, you're part of the problem. Sorry. If it wasn't for you, that's fine. I don't watch horror movies. I don't like them. Not much. But I don't go out and shit on them online. Oh, this horror movie is so bad because blah 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 blah. It's so corny. It's so I'm not gonna do that. Horror movies are for a different crowd of people. If the superhero movies aren't for you, just don't watch them. You don't need to go shit on other people's experiences.
Yeah, I agree.
But I digress. I believe I saw a list. I'm struggling to find it now, but I saw a list that showed Captain America Brave New World as the most anticipated movie of the year when surveying general audiences with all of the movies on the year as an option. So they weren't just talking about superhero movies, they were talking about all the movies coming out, and Captain America was topping the charts on all the surveys.
Oh,
So I think it's really going to be
interesting.
hard to tell. Obviously, the July windows usually have bigger box office polls, so it's kind of a toss up. But as much as people love Superman, people have been clamoring for Fantastic Four as well. I mean, it's Marvel's first family. Like it's in a lot of people's views almost sacred. It's a little bit of a hyperbolic word to use for a superhero thing, but you know what I mean? It's like I can't decide. I can't decide what's going to be the biggest movie. I'm interested to find out. They're all going to be the biggest movie to me. The longer the movie, the better. I don't like this trend of shorter movies, but hey,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping Superman's gonna do well, and that DC is gonna turn things around with James Gunn. But
yeah,
I guess we'll see.
I guess we'll see. And I agree completely with that. I want a great Marvel universe and a great DC universe so that they have proper competition. I think part of the problem that Marvel has faced, and the reason they felt like they could make some silly mistakes, is because they had no fucking competition. They had Sony churning out shit, and then they had DC literally just floundering and not doing anything for a while. So now finally, we're going to have DC versus Marvel. I'm going to love them both. If you want to pick sides, go for it. But I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it all shakes out. Because on one hand, you've got Kevin Feige, basically the studio boss legend of them all. And then you've got James Gunn, arguably one of the most creative writer-directors currently on the scene.
Oh, and Peter Safran. Those two
Yeah,
together, right?
Peter Safran's his team. So you've got Peter Safran and James Gunn. Peter Safran handling business side of things, James Gunn handling creative side of things. My main concern with what I'm seeing so far from the DC side of things, and I think these concerns will be addressed pretty quickly, but so far it seems like most of the stuff coming from DC that's planned and confirmed is directly being created by James Gunn. And at some point, he has to be like good at picking the teams of people to create the things if he wants to broaden out, or we're going to run into the same bandwidth problem that Kevin Feige had when they tried to pump out too much shit in the multiverse saga.
Yeah.
We need that quality control, but we also need good teams. So meanwhile, Marvel has already learned those lessons. They've restructured. They now have Marvel Studios, Marvel Television, and Marvel Animation. So they've got 3 main heads. Oh shit, Marcy.
What goose?
You know what I forgot?
No, what'd you forget?
I forgot Echo. When we were talking about
you forgot
Daredevil
Echo.
Born Again.
I forgot about Echo too. So
I mean, don't let that be a reflection on the show.
no, it was still good.
Marvel Spotlight. They did kind of release it in a strange window. And listen, here's the thing. I doubt it's required viewing, but she's an amazing character. Very street level storytelling. They introduced her in Hawkeye, which was its own awesome show. And based on her placement, or rather the show's placement on the Disney Plus streaming service, she's going to be right there bundled in with the Defenders, because that's literally where they put her show. It makes sense. Daredevil shows up in her show. Her backstory is heavily intertwined with Kingpin, with Wilson Fisk, who's actually very interesting in Echo. Not that he wasn't interesting before, but he takes on like this paternal attitude. It's kind of interesting seeing what that looks like filtered through Fisk, and then the effect that Echo has on him is bound to come into play in Daredevil Born Again. But that should, I believe that really should wrap things up. But before we get out of here, I just want to highlight just how truly fantastic and super 2025 is shaping up to be, with a plethora of projects. Many seem tailor-made for new fans to hop on board, while others look to deliver on long-built threads, stories, and characters. With Marvel learning from their missteps, DC finally under one vision, and others giving us their own takes like Henry Danger for children and Invincible for adults. Not to mention the massive catalogs of super stuff on streaming. There has literally never been a better year to be a super fan. And on that note, I want to give a shout out and refer you to some great content creators, influencers, podcasts, however you want to refer to them. If you're like me, you like staying in the enthused spirits, keeping your mind on the supers and thinking about them, theorizing, hearing what other people are thinking, and just staying in that excited for it mindset. And there's so much coming out. It's going to be easy to do that. And these teams are really passionate people, and honestly, they keep me sane through long days. They've been doing this kind of thing for a while. They're much more put together than we are. I believe some of them are doing it full time. Some of them are, I hope, making a healthy side gig out of it. They have strong release schedules. They have fun conversations. They all seem like the kind of people I'd love to grab a coffee with and just gab about superheroes for a while. So I'm just going to name a few here. The first one I want to turn you on to is a group called Stranded Panda. They have a whole suite, so just wherever you get your podcast, search Stranded Panda. I particularly like Multiverse News and Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. This is a great gaggle of geeks. And if you listen to us, you probably already know New Rockstars. I kind of get the vibes that Eric Voss and Jessica Clemens are like our little nerd community's personal celebrities. New Rockstars themselves has a suite of podcasts like The Break Room and Sneak Peek, and they have tons of great coverage on YouTube. Then a few of my go to the YouTube channels. I like The Den of Nerds, I like Screen Crush. They cover many things, including superhero news, Everything Always with a guy named Allfires. He has admittedly some clickbaity images, but the titles are not clickbaity, and he does not bury the lead. He actually provides really thoughtful analysis and coverage, and that's all he does is Marvel content all day, every day. He covers it pretty damn well, in my opinion. There's just so much news all the time these days, and this guy is on it like a watcher. There are a lot of others out there, and you know what? We hope to join them in this wonderful super community. So please let us know any of your favorites, and gosh darn it, keep it vibin' super out there. A Couple of Superfans is brought to you by Marcy and Goose, an actual human couple, and listeners like you. We are not sponsored, not affiliated, and we do not run ads. The best way to support this podcast is to give us a like, follow, and share on your favorite platforms. Leave a comment, be sure to tell a friend, and don't forget to grab tickets to the next super blockbuster near you. A Couple of Superfans as a treatment for superhero fatigue is not approved by the FDA. Side effects may include overexcitement for fictional stories, forgetting about the world's woes, spending extra on IMAX and concessions, closed ears to haters, and, in the most extreme cases, drowning all your feeds in superhero content. Thanks a billion for the listen. Keep it vibin' super out there.